Hello class. I will be talking about the preliminary and final budget and what it entails, and I will give you a brief overview of how to put in an order and how to purchase your materials. As a reminder, your preliminary budget is due in about a month and your final budget is due in 2 months. These are, I should say, the most important documents for your project. If you miss this deadline, unfortunately, that means you don't need any funds for your project. So make sure that you do not miss this deadline or you're not late, and plan ahead. You have plenty of time right now, so start planning for your budget. I will be talking about what is preliminary budget and final budget and how to submit them. Again, a reminder from 361, your budget is the cost of your project. The cost that goes into develop your final product that you get to your sponsor, or your prototype, or sometimes in this semester specifically we have some projects that are a scaled replica of something. How much cost it will entail for you to finish and get to the goal of the project. Again, this was something from 361, so it doesn't apply here, but I'm sure you know this. This is not the cost of mass manufacturing a product. The other important thing that I want to remind you is that the budget is the basis for allocating fund. Meaning, once you submit your budget, we'll go through it, and depending on the budget you submit, we will allocate fund to your project. Some projects will get the amount that they requested for, some projects will get less the amount that they requested for. So this is important to remember. This is the basis for allocating funds. What goes into your budget? There were 3 main categories that your budget and your cost of the project comes from. The first one is planning and design work, which you doing mostly first semester and the fall semester. Any cost that goes into software, equipment, traveling to a site, anything that you need to design your work. You shouldn't need any software, specific software. We have most of what you need, unless you need a super specific software that we don't have it. You shouldn't have any people cost, because all of you are working on your senior design and you do not receive salaries. The next step is prototyping and manufacturing your design, which is next semester, and that could be any raw material that you purchase, any fabrication and manufacturing fees that you pay or you should pay, or any parts or components that you purchase. And the last category is if you need to develop a fixture or pay something for testing, which we're going to talk about it, or in very rare cases you have to send your design or your component or your system to an external lab for testing. So these are the main categories that goes into your budget. With your budget document, you also request the justification of your budget. You got to explain why you need what you need, and also you have to explain how you came up with the costs and numbers that you put in the tables. So that is basically the narrative of your budget, and explaining and justifying. This is important because when you request funds, we go through your document and we read through your narrative and see why you need this much money. Why do you need $1,000 to develop this product that you are working on? So this is both of these are very important in your budget document, to be as specific as you can and as clear as you can, and that will help you get secure the funds that you require for your project. So the preliminary budget, it is similar to your budget. It needs to be as close as your final budget. The difference is it is kind of a design review type of thing. So me, department, your mentor gets to see what your final budget looks like 1 month before it's due. So we have time to go back and forth. Sometimes I reach out to the company, sometimes I reach out to the team within that month to adjust if any adjustments is needed. You submit it to Blackboard similar to any other deliverable, and you submit a copy to your mentor for them to review. After that, if you don't hear anything from me or your mentor, that means everything is in order. But if adjustments and modifications are needed, if your budget is way too high or if your budget is way too low, I will reach out to you and says, you know what, this is way beyond senior design and what your company can allocate to you. So we'll go back and forth and adjust it for your final budget. So your final budget is the final version of requested funds. It should include all funds required for the project. Justification of requested fund. It should have a yellow budget sheet that we talk about, yellow budget form with your mentor's signature. Okay, so you submit your final budget to your mentor with the yellow sheet. You get their signature. Some mentors, they need at least a week to review it, sign it, and return it to you. So, and I'm giving you a lot of heads up. So please plan accordingly. That due date that I mentioned on Blackboard is you be done, your mentor signed, the document is scanned, everything goes into Blackboard. You scan everything. It most likely will be electronically anyway, but if you print it, you sign something, you can scan it back and upload it to Blackboard. Usually within a week of submitting that budget, me and Dr. Kalmaier meet with each other, go through all the budget and allocate funds to your project, and you will be hearing by email from Kim Carlson in the ME department about how much your budget was approved, and after that point you are authorized to start ordering and making purchases. So to do the final budget, and I made this for easier to follow for you guys. So it is important to be in constant communication with your mentor and your sponsor. Everyone needs to be in the same page. Between submitting your preliminary budget and your final budget, you need to kind of finalize and select your concept, what we talked about in previous video. You get the final approval from your mentor, download the yellow sheet from Blackboard that is provided already and uploaded. You fill in the yellow budget sheet, get your mentor's signature. All of this needs to happen before Friday, November the 20th. I made a note here, please plan ahead. There is no late submission of the budget. Failure to submit your budget by the deadlines is interpreted that as you are not requesting any funds for the project, and therefore no funds will be allocated to your project. So again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Please plan ahead. So the yellow form that I'm talking about is already on Blackboard under course content, yellow budget form. That's the first link you're going to see, and it looks like something like this. So you team members need to fill out all the information here. This table needs to be filled. It doesn't have to include every bolt, every nut, every washer you buy. These are more generic. It doesn't have to be super generic. Don't put budget for the project or something like that, but you gotta kind of simplify your bullet points from your budget. Try to fit it in this table. If you have to use 2 sheets, fine, but make sure that you have the total of each column here and total of your project. And again, this needs to be signed by your advisor before submission to Blackboard. So now, once you're authorized to make purchases, it is extremely important to remember every purchase requires a pre-order form. Every money that you're spending requires a pre-order form. there is no reimbursement process in place. If you spend something, even if it's a washer for 50 cents, and then come back to the department and says, oh, I purchased this washer yesterday and here's the pre-order form for it. That doesn't work. You need a pre-order form for everything that you spend. The form is available on Emmy website under resources and pre-order form, and it looks it exactly looks like this form right here. So there are two general types of purchases. Again, both need pre-order form. Okay, that's constant, that's fixed for every purchase that you make. But there are type of purchases that Emmy office will order for you. Okay, and then there are other purchases issued a blue card, a card like this one that you will get, and you go do the purchase. This blue card is for local businesses, for testing that you do, maybe in Emmy or IME labs, or for 3D printing, stuff like that. You need an authorization by a blue card. The blue card, the local companies, the Menards, Max, and on campus, you can use a blue card. Here are some equipment that is available in Emmy department, and they're on Recharge Center. So there are fees associated with them. Some by hour, some test equipment, and some 3D printer by the amount that you print and the size of the print that you have. If you have any, you need any more information, please talk to your mentor or Rob Seiler, our lab manager, if you need more information or what type of material. Let's say you can print on TAS5, stuff like that. So this is just as a guideline for you if you are planning on some testing or 3D printing and stuff to come up with your budget. Here are some examples of pre-order forms filled. So both of these are blue card type of purchases. One is for Emmy Recharge Center, one is for Menards, and you can see how the form is filled. Both of these pre-order forms, again, same pre-order form for every purchase you make. They're available on Emmy website. Here's another example for you. These are from websites, and as you can see, these are going to be ordered by Emmy office. One is purchased from Metal Depot, and the other one is from Amazon. So after you purchase and after you order, you got to check the office for your package. You will only be emailed about your package if it's been sitting for too long in the office. So don't assume that automatically someone will email you as soon as your package is there. So make sure the packing list matches the content. There are so many teams ordering similar material, so don't just assume that this is yours and pick it up. Make sure to check your packing slip, make sure that's yours, but also if it is yours, make sure that you received all the items. Sometimes orders will ship separately. Sign, date, and return your packing slip to Kim Carlson in a timely manner. That needs to go back with the financial records and your pre-order form. I posted some examples of budget on Blackboard. If you go under course content, there's a folder examples, and I posted 4 examples of 4 different projects for your attention. I'm not going to go through them. You please download them, look at them, and read each project and see what is the narration of the budget and what they've explained and how they justified their budget. But in each of those budgets, you should see 100% 2 of the categories, prototyping and manufacturing and testing, and in some budgets the third one, design work as well. But it usually has an overview of the budget. budget overview or budget summary that has a total. So this team had raw material and supplies and finished products from vendors. So it has a total, but then when you move on, you get to see more details about the budget and how what each category entails. This is another example from a student competition. I think this is from a NASA human powered rover, which they have more parts and more design to their project, so their budget is more extensive. The grading of the budget, I kind of touched on it in project plan. It is combined with project plan. You can pause this slide and read it. They're also available on Blackboard, the grading rubric, so you can go through them. And when you're preparing your documents, make sure that you check mark all the points so you can get a good grade. And the last thing that I want to mention is, again, pay attention to the deadlines. Please don't forget or do not be late on those documents. The links are already available and up for you guys to submit. Thank you.